year 1991 is significant for two reasons. One is very common, which is the introduction of the new economic policy by our government, which introduced liberalization, privatization and globalization, in which only the higher education was also invited or welcomed to privatization. And at the same time, it was the disintegration of USSR, which was a socialist economy, and it proved that only with socialism an economy cannot move forward. So with proofs in our constitution itself, we have Article 45, which says that free and compulsory education is reduced to children of 6 to 14 years of age, which is elementary education and not higher education, which shows the state withdraws its complete autonomy from the higher education funding, and which invites privatization. At the same time, the recent updates of National Education Policy 2020, the government itself welcomes privatization by welcoming foreign universities to our country.
Despite its long history of private mass higher education, Philippines is now extending its tertiary education enrollment through deprivatization. I strongly believe that privatization does not improve the quality of higher education. It will lead to the commodification of education, as most of the private players in it view it as business. Issues of capitation fees, poor accountability, fly-by-night operators, fake degrees are rampant to a concerning level. Unlike private colleges, the teachers appointed in government universities are done so after qualifying central level examinations, which states that quality is nowhere being compromised. India has done, over the past decades, huge amount of effort in the field of higher education. IIT, IIM, AIIMS have emerged as the institutes of excellence, even though they are government-run institutions. With that, I rest my case. Thank you.
Privatization is an inevitable aspect today in our economy. Just mentioning about within the government institutions itself, we have self-financing courses, which are privatized forms within the government institution. This shows that even the government sectors need privatized institutions and bodies to have a consolidated effort with them.
Out to you.
Just because new opportunities, we never deny that opportunities should be created, be it in public universities or private, opportunities should be created, but is the quality being served? The Supreme Court gave out its verdict that private institutions can take their own decisions. So which means that their management, how they are managing is not really clear. They put unhealthy amount of pressure on students, which is bad for themselves.
Out to you, Priya.
What do you mean by real quality? If you talk about the government professors, yes, they are highly qualified teachers, but we have a lot of classless periods where they don't even teach. At the same time, private institutions have more regular classes. Is this what we're talking about, quality? Quality is there on both sides, but the only difference is we have to complement each other to move forward.
Please.
We have to understand that unlike a private college, the freedom given to the students in a public university is more. We have to understand that knowledge never comes in closed rooms, but rather when there is an open mind, which is available in a public university.
Out to you.
So you're justifying that classes shouldn't be taken at all. So we are paying fees to have no classes at all. Again, when we talk about more enrollment ratio, we can see that only because there are more private players in today's economy, our population of 141 crores of 65 population of youth have been supported. Only with public sector, I don't think this much population can have a seat in a room.
Please.
You talked about a certain time period. A 1 hour of a class is not what education is all about. Education is something more than particular hours of classes. I have to tell you that even though we have so many private colleges coming up, there is an issue of mushroom colleges, which are basically there just for selling fake degrees.
Please.
And yes, those mushroom colleges are being exposed by all these investigating agencies, and they are being cancelled out. Their licenses have been taken out.
Kindly
and at the
get
same
back
time,
to the topic. Yes.
And at the same time, when we talk about private institutions, there is one major element which is like corruption is being avoided. When there is no much of political intervention into all these, the monopoly of these government institutions are being reduced. No government have monopolies take over education sector.
Out to you.
Even though private institutions do not have that political influence, they're almost immune. We have to understand that they have their own private things going around, be it goal-oriented pressure or the amount just for the sake of a target or just for the the purpose of a marketing, this much, like this much marks is given to the students so that they can marketize it. There's no relevance, or there is, when you go to the depth of it, there is actually no value
Okay,
in that.
false data. Yes.
We shouldn't deny that pressure comes along with every profession, every institution that we study in. If students can't take pressure, it's not because just institutions have a pressure on them. Even government institutions put pressure on them. And also, we have to keep in mind the global standards. When private institutions come, they bring in global standard and have more competition in this field. More competition shows more efficiency, and more efficiency shows more accountability to the public.
Out to you.
I
Okay.
understand that competition is very necessary and pressure is also necessary, but unhealthy amount of pressure or competition is surely not doing anyone good. I have to understand that various amount of internship and placements are given, but these internship and placements are also given in public universities. The internship and placement given in private universities are actually just for adding more workforce in their private companies and private management sectors.
Out to you.
I think theories are not enough to run a country. We have employment opportunities, not that so that those companies can alone get employees. People in this country also need employment for salary. They have to have their own livelihood being sustained.
And to your time up, both of you. Kindly